Probably I'll grab the link and put it out. Well, from YouTube, I will share it.
Okay.
So those that miss it now, we can still take it, put it on all of your sites, upload it, and people can still see the replay.
Okay.
So all is not lost.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to be just apologetic for one moment, and it's the only time I'm going to apologize up front. And that is because I have been talking non-stop since the first thing this morning.
That's not new. That's not new at all for you.
No, it is. If you only knew, I could spend days in here and not speak to a soul.
Okay.
That's why you catch it all when I talk to you. Because I went 20 days at one point and didn't talk to anybody. Didn't go out the house. I just worked on projects, worked on, and rested, because it was a time of the year when I had to do that, where the body had just really said, no more. And it's a peaceful time for me, and I'm able to just really go within and work on me and be at peace and rest and new ideas flourishing and move forward. So for all of you who are joining and will join us, and those of you who will be watching the replay, we're going to get started right now. And I'm really excited to have my second blab. And for those of you who are hesitant about starting something new, and if I'm looking away, I'm looking at notes. If you're hesitant about starting something new or jumping into something that's really unusual for you, or it's a first time ever, first of all, I want you to know I'm really excited because this is my guest's first blab. Cathy Doerr. Miss Cathy Doerr has never been on blab before, and so I'm excited about that. She didn't hesitate not 1 minute when I asked her if she could jump on with us. Secondly, you don't have a clue how many technical hiccups and disappointments and challenges I was having within 45 minutes prior to us being here with you right now. It was just like, we're going to fight this way through. Okay. I'm Grit Factor. The Grit Factor's here. I am #gritting my way through. We're going to make all of this work. And so I'm not even going to begin to tell you. So hopefully people can find us on here, because the original link did have to change at the very last minute, and I did my best to get it out to people and let them know, and I'll be tweeting and posting to let them know that we're on a different link. The only difference is you add a -1 behind the original link and you'll come to us. But I have to tell you a little bit about who am I and what am I doing? This is Stephanie D. Burroughs. I'm the woman that's been helping minority women, small veteran business owners for more than 30 years. I'm not going to tell you how much the more is, okay? You don't need to know all that. But I've been helping them navigate their way through government and public and corporate contracting, and seeing them have much success. I am first and foremost an inspirational speaker, a workshop facilitator, business navigator, specializing in government contracting, and I do something with women business owners called thought therapy. So I navigate them in that sphere as well. And I'm also an author. And so it's very apropos that we're talking about preparing to date your business prospect, because I wrote my first book. It's not the first, it's the first one that got published, put it that way, in 2014, called Dating Your Business Prospect. And it's all about success, practical strategies for successful business matchmaking meeting. So I got a real great special coming up, because in 2015, I made it an audio book. So I want to tell you about that special, but you got to hang out with us for a while. I'll let you know later on. In fact, I'm really excited because my guest, Miss Cathy Doerr, also has a special. She agreed to do an offer, something that had already closed down. She's reopening. And only those of you who get on this blab and hang in there with us today will have an opportunity to find out how to take advantage of that offer. First of all, I got to say welcome to all of you who are just coming on. And I missed the first one I saw up there, but I see Gladys Payton has joined, one of my clients. Hallelujah. She found us. Yay. So I just wanted to share with you that, no matter what the challenges and the difficulties are, whatever you set your mind to, as I said to Cathy, or I was saying to someone else, one of my clients earlier that I was talking to, one of the many people I talked to since first thing this morning. So if I get a little bit tongue-tied, you will understand. But one of the things I said to them was, listen, I got this from, I think it was Deepak Chopra. And he says, intention attracts, but attention expands. So we need to use both of those, what you want to attract to you and what you want to expand, what you focus on expands. And I'm sharing that with you because I know that this wonderful woman who has been doing what she's been doing for the past, I don't know how many years. Oh my gosh, you too, over 30. You too. She's been in business for over 30 years. So I've been doing what I do for minority women, small veteran business owners for more than 30 years, but there was some other stuff I've done before that. But Cathy's had her business for over 30 years. And it's called ShoWorks Inc. And you all saw me blasting about that. It's a small woman-owned business known in the government procurement arena. And here's the thing. When you want to talk about putting intention out there, for her to put on 4 to 8, let me say that again, 4 to 8 Alliance procurement events around the country, that's a whole lot of intention. But then to be able to have successful events, these are successful events, tons of people come out. That means she put the attention on it, total focus, nonstop. And I can tell you, I know, because I'm on the committee for the one that we're about to have coming up on March 31st called Alliance MidAtlantic. And Cathy keeps us on the ball. She keeps us on our toes. And for her to have people come out every single year. Now she's doing 4 to 8 of these a year around the country, different states, calling on different people to take advantage of what she's doing in terms of the small minority women, veteran business owners, as well as, and LGBT business owners, as well as bringing in federal government people, corporate folks, state government, local county government, commercial businesses, huge businesses, all of them come. She calls, they answer, and they come and they participate and they give you their hearts.
That always amazes me too. I can't believe it.
It's about you. It's something about you. Something about your face. It's something about you. Yes. So I just got to say, we have somebody on here that really understands what it takes to be successful in business. How do you stay in business for more than 30 years and not be successful at that? Cathy, her mission, the company's mission, is to bring together buyers and sellers, offer networking opportunities and success tips for small businesses. I want you to understand, you're going to have people coming that are going to pour out to you. There are speakers. Yes. There are panelists. Yes. There are workshops galore. Yes. There are matchmakers. You'll be meeting with people from these corporations and from contracting officers from federal government or their COTARs or their contracting specialists or their small business representatives. Supplier diversity representatives will be out there. We have corporate coming. We have commercial coming. We have construction coming. There's just such a variety of businesses that are coming out to pour into you how you can do business with them. But before you do that, you need to be prepared. And that's why we're on here today. Cathy believes that we have to be accountable for our success and take the personal responsibility to heart. We can't rely on others to do our work and blame others and government for our lack of success. Hallelujah. Put it out there. Say it. It's real. Oh, they didn't. They won't. I can't. They wouldn't. Just put that mess to bed. Grow some grit and let's get moving and have some success. You got to have long-term vision. Her philosophy is that if it isn't working, get this, hear me on this, that it's because we personally are not taking the right steps. It means you got to monitor what you're doing and really go back and see what worked and what didn't work and make the necessary changes. But remember, sometimes you have to do things over time. You make little bitty tweaks, but you got to do it over time before you can really see what the statistics are telling you that are what's not working in your business. So sometimes it's just timing, right, Cathy? Sometimes it's all about timing.
And that's why you have to be in one place or 10 places, and you have to be there so that when the time is right for somebody, for an agency to start buying, they know who you are. Don't wait until after something's been done.
So I want to tell you a little bit more about Cathy because she got so much stuff here. And this is awesome. Her company, ShoWorks Inc., owned and organized several public events in the Spokane, Washington area, such as RV shows, boat shows, and food events. Now, she does very little in Washington State. Get this. This is growth. This is growth. But she's doing work all across the country. The company has been certified by the U.S. Department of Commerce to produce and organize U.S. pavilions in Chile, Argentina, and Peru. Can I come, please? You got a spot for me? Well, can I get like an interpreter and I can speak and then have an interpreter, interpret me? Guess where this all started? Prior to all of this that she's doing, she was a middle school and high school English teacher, and she's raised 3 lovely and successful daughters with her husband, Mark, who's an English professor. Was that lovely gentleman that I spoke to when I called earlier?
Me cute, yes.
Wow, he was a sweetheart. I'm telling you, I would hire him to be my virtual assistant. I love the way he handled the call.
Yeah, he can't do the detail, I'll tell you.
So Cathy, why don't you just tell the audience a little bit about you from your standpoint? I've talked to them about your bio, but what's your elevator invitation, and what is that you want to share with the audience real quick before we jump into all of the questions that I have for you?
Well, I think that what my focus is and what I try to do is just point people in the right direction. That means if the prime contractor calls me and said, I'm looking for a small business that does this, I will make sure that they get 2 or 3 names out of my database that I have talked to. If a small business were standing there at the matchmaking area, and I ask everybody I can, okay, what do you do? So I sell environmental services. I try to make sure that they are pointed in the right direction, not just the folks that they have registered for and scheduled a meeting with, but okay, have you talked to these people, or have you talked to these people? Did you sit down at this table? I guess I'm trying to be a mother, basically, in a nice way without being bossy, but that happens too. So I feel that, yes, you do need to take responsibility for everything. I would not be doing this business. It would not be my 16th year for Alliance MidAtlantic if I had just sat at my desk and said, they're coming. I don't know what to do. They're not coming. You take the next step and you try something new. And that's what we all have to do. I hate it when somebody says it doesn't work. This doesn't work.
Doesn't that
It doesn't make sense. We get out of this what we put in. So, and I know the ladies, I don't know Patricia except for the fact that I've talked to her several times on the telephone. And Gladys, I don't know you either, but I know that you're taking the time to be here. So you're trying to get something out of it. That's what the other 350 people have not done. So that's very good. Bravo.
And I want to just say shout out to my client, Sugar Shock Media, Judy. And I want to say to each of you, hang in there with us because we got a lot to cover. And I don't want you to leave before you find out about this wonderful offer. We both have a wonderful offer for you guys. But I'm going to give you, because you guys got on, you found your way here to this new link. So I'm going to give you a freebie right now. How's that? So just write this down so you can put it into your phone a little bit later because we want you to listen. I'm going to give you a freebie right now. Text the word networking to 908-223-8616, 908-223-8616. My mother always told me the early bird gets the worm. You'll get a digital download of my 14 steps to prepping for networking. Okay, so it's right in line with what we're talking about today. Let's text the word, and I'm just going to put this in here. Make it easy. Text networking to 908-223-8616. There it is. It's in the chat box. So you text that word to that number. So put the number in first. Let me tell you, I got to tell you, because I saw some people try to do this once before and they messed it up. They put in a whole different number. And somebody put networking in, but I don't know what happened. It didn't go where it was supposed to go. So you text that word networking to 908-223-8616. We've got more specials coming up. We've got some discount pricing coming up for the Alliance MidAtlantic for March 31st, 2016, being held in Bally's. We're back in New Jersey and Atlantic City. We departed and we were down in Delaware. It was awesome. The reception was phenomenal. Really grateful and thankful to the folks that were there, especially the governor. Come on now, Cathy. Look, Cathy got the governor coming out. She had the governor come out 2 years in a row.
We did in Delaware. That's right. We did
let's be clear. That was in Delaware, yes.
That is not New Jersey. New Jersey. Haven't done that yet.
But they tell me that Doerr is an extremely business-friendly state, and what better way to put that message across than to have the governor actually come show up and speak and meet and shake hands and talk to people and then go off to do what he had to do. It was pretty cool. So we're excited to be back in Jersey, though, back home. 16 years of doing this. So we already know you've been in business for 30 or a little bit over 30 years, but why did you start doing this particular conference that you're doing around the country?
Well, it started with Spokane, Washington. The Economic Development Council asked me at the beginning of PTAX when they were first being funded by the federal government. And they had heard a term procurement fair, but none of us knew how to put one together. So they said, let's try it. So we did, and people came. Then we worked for the Army Corps of Engineers. They were a partner of ours. And that led to the Navy in Philadelphia and starting the actual Alliance events, which are now my signature events. So they've just grown from that. But the Navy, the Alliance MidAtlantic is our original ShoWorks event, procurement event. So, and now we have there are a lot of other organizations out there that do the same thing, mostly private, nonprofit organizations.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. There are events going on all over the place, but you always get a really good turnout, number one. I should tell the audience that I'm thankful and grateful that Cathy has been, I don't even know how many years it's been now, Cathy, maybe 7 or 8 years that you've had me come and be the moderator for the program, the Alliance MidAtlantic program. So that's always a lot of fun. There's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And there's so much going on. I mean, from the morning programs where we always have a keynoter, where I get everybody up and getting themselves together and getting that spirit of, woo, I can't wait, I'm ready right now, to them meeting with exhibitors, talking and meeting with one another on the floor, and then having their matchmaking and all of the workshops. And what I'm excited about today is, throughout the entire day while I was meeting with different clients, I kept talking about how important building relationships is today and how things have really changed in the marketplace about how we're doing business. Like, I don't know about you, but I remember a time when, we were supposed to be really and not bring our hearts into the workplace and not bring our issues from our lives into the workplace. And it's a whole different thing going on now, right? So we have to keep up constantly and stay abreast of the changes that are taking place.
Well, Stephanie, you mentioned relationships, and probably you think, well, the federal government, they just go by the numbers, but relationships are probably as important as any other relationship that you have. And we're talking dating here, really. Sometimes people click on the first date, and sometimes they click 2 months down the road. And sometimes the first kiss is what does it for everybody. You never know. But the point is, you have to develop a relationship. And like I say, federal government, as well as state and local, and of course corporate, but federal government, yes, you still need to maintain relationships. They need to know who you are. You need to prove to them that you've done your research, that you are ready to do business with them. And there are several ways to do that.
Well, since you said that, before I go to my next question, why don't you share 1 or 2 strategies for doing that?
Okay, well, first of all, it probably doesn't matter what show or event that you're going to go to, but on our events, on the Alliance events, we put all the information you need to get started. You don't just walk in and say, and I've heard this, what do you guys do?
Oh,
It makes me
yes.
sick, but
Yes.
it happens, and you need to be ready. You will know, all of you that come to this event or any event, you should know who are the players, who's going to be there. On my site, there are links to their website so you can do the research. You can check out their forecasts and know what projects are there. So number one is do the research. Don't Johnson & Johnson, for example, told me once at one of their events that it would have done, it would have been much better for some of these people that they talked to if they actually understood the different divisions that Johnson & Johnson has. And said, this is how I work with, I can work with this division, and this is how I can help you, rather than just say, everybody knows Johnson & Johnson. Well,
Exactly.
don't.
And Johnson & Johnson has a large number of companies. So
Yeah.
they're different, and how they're operating is different. So you really need to know which company you're wanting to do business with. And basically it goes back to who buys what you sell and how do they buy it? What is the process that they're using? And, we are of the same heart and the same mind. When you talk about people, I saw somebody do that once I don't know if you know Turner Construction Company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huge company. We were at a conference, and this person walked up to the table and asked the guy, so what is it you all do? Now the sign says Turner Construction Company. I almost fell out, and you could see the guy behind the table just like trying to stay cool, but you could see the body language, if you're paying attention, kind of tense for a minute. And then afterwards, of course, it was like, we were like, are you kidding me? And he came over and he's like, did you hear them? What is wrong with these people? So please, please, please do your homework before you get to the event, any event. Everything is on the web now. There's no excuse.
That's right. One way to do that research is actually, let me give you an example. I did a radio blog show this morning, and that'll be online as well, so you'll be able to look at that. Ronald Allen's Managing Change. Our guest was Bill Belknap of the Energy, something like that. I can't pronounce his company name. Bill, he's come to several of my events, and he goes to many others too, not just the Alliance events. But he indicates it's really there are only 3 federal agencies that we focus on, because he knows, he's done his research. He's gone to FedDocs. He's gone to actually FPDS. Stephanie, that stands for Federal Procurement
Data
Systems. Okay, FPDS tells you exactly who buys what. If they buy your services, you can search it in many ways. So I think that's something we need to write down, Patricia.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in the chat box. And it's like scary that you said that, because he was someone I met with this morning, Ronald, that is. Guess where we went? Guess where I took him? FPDS. And so how you can take that and use FPDS, gather certain bits of information. I've done this with clients, and go back into FBO if that contract is within the last 365 days it was signed. Then we can find it, so we can see what the RFP scope of work was. We could actually see what the scope of work was. So I show them what bits of information to pull from SPDS to go on over to the other side. That's right. You know what? Cathy's giving some good information. So y'all see these little hands down here at the bottom? You just click on that and give us some props. These are props. I can't give myself props, so you got to give me the props. Okay, help me out.
Okay. Bill also said one thing. He said, we may win 1 out of 6 or 7 or 8 awards. We don't win everything, but each time we don't, we make sure that we have connected with that contracting officer, that we find out why, and ask. Well, if there's anything else coming down that we can do this kind of service for you, please call. And they do. So again,
that's the relationship. That's the debrief. A lot of people don't know that they can call to get a debrief to find out what they could have done better or where they kind of went around the curve with that proposal that they responded to. And so when you get that debrief, it helps you. It's just a learning curve. It increases your learning curve and helps you be better on the next response that you do.
And basically, Bill is
present.
saying you don't have to win every one that you bid on, and don't give up after 2 or 3. Keep going. That's exactly.
Oh man, can I tell you? I shared with someone today. I listened to several stories at an event that takes place each year. The first year, I heard the woman talk about how for 15 years she tried to get into this particular organization. It's a big company. 15 years.
Wow.
Each time she'd go back to find out, what do I need to do? And they would tell her where there was lack, or where there was a need for improvement, or where there was a need for expansion, or where there was a need for experience. And she got contracts with other people and was able to ramp up in those areas. 15 years later, but that organization became one of her largest clients when she finally got into Doerr. Each year, 2 more years after that, I heard other stories. 13 years for another one. I forget how much the last one was. Those first 2 really impacted me. They didn't give up.
That's right.
Stop. And so the only way you lose is when you quit. That's how you lose. You quit. So let's talk about.
You can be going after a lot of other agencies and companies too. So don't give up, and don't let that discourage you, folks. Those of you that are on here, it's okay. It will come. Just try another field or another contract, and then keep going back to them. But they'll remember you. They'll know when the time is right.
Oh my gosh! So we got Inez Bracy on. Said she didn't even know about the debrief. You can always call and ask.
Always.
You know. The same thing. I see Julianne Sullivan join. She was my first Black guest last month. Awesome. Welcome, Julianne. And looking forward to having her come back. And guess what, Julianne? We got it right this time. We're recording. Hello. Wait a minute. Cathy reminded me. We are recording, right, Stephanie? So, we've had some business owners come to the conferences, and they've been to numerous conferences, not just one. They didn't come to just one Alliance MidAtlantic. They kept coming back, and they eventually got a chance to tell their success stories. Can you remember any particular success story that impacted you as to how coming to Alliance MidAtlantic made a difference for them?
One in particular, I probably have a couple more, but one in particular, one of our attendees, and he's actually going to be one of our success stories during the lunch, is Brian Hess with Astro Machine Works. Brian, and I'm going to use his name because I think he'd be thrilled. If you come back occasionally, I'll get to remember your face and your voice, etc. So we got to talking, and it was probably after the second or third event. Because we know what he does now, and a prime contractor called and said, we really need to find a company that does this specific type of project, and we don't know anybody, and we have to have it done quick. So we thought of Brian, and we called him up and said, this might be for you. So give her a call, and he did, and they are now they started with a very small project, and now they're one of their best customers, so that's a good thing. Bill Belknap this morning, I did not know this, told me that a couple years ago he met one of our prime contractors at the show, and exchanged emails and said, well, this is what I can do for you, and about 6 months later they got their first project from them. And he said, nothing is instantaneous. I don't go in there and I get something. This is all relationship building, but that made a difference. And I will say this, Stephanie, that you need to come to this event loaded for bear. You need to be ready to talk to everybody, even your so-called competitors, because you never know if you can work with them. They may have a special expertise that you cannot accomplish without their help.
That's
for an award. And Bill and Brian and just about everybody that is successful has been partners with somebody on some contracts. So make sure you talk to everybody and find out what they do, no matter whether you think that they could compete with you or not. They probably can't.
Because you never know. People make assumptions, right? They just think that someone's doing so well or has a savvy or whatever it is. But when you just come with honesty and integrity and authenticity, listen, we're going to tell you a couple of things you really better have in order. Have your elevator invitation. I'm picking that up for somebody that I heard talk about this. In fact, she helps people craft those. And it was on a Women's Speakers Association blab. That was the first one that I actually participated on as a speaker. And she talked about that elevator invitation. I like that better than a pitch. I like it because it means I'm inviting you in to hear about my company.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because that is really important. At least for my events, when somebody before a company shows up, am I talking too much, Stephanie? Before a company shows up, before you show up to sit at that table for a matchmaking host, they have their schedule. And that schedule indicates, basically has their blurb that you put into the directory, our e-guide. You need to catch somebody's attention within the first sentence. Being a woman-owned business is not going to catch their attention. The first sentence should be exactly what you do. I am a project manager for specific kind of building or topics. And then keep the women-owned business or the minority-owned business, and I've been in business for 20 years. Keep that at the bottom if you even bring it up.
Yes.
The elevator pitch, you've got just a couple minutes to catch their attention. That's how you do it, both in writing and in person.
How long are your matchmaker meetings? Are they 15 minutes?
Our meetings are 15 minutes, right? Yep.
So one of the things we talk about, and I talk about this in my audiobook and the book, excuse me. And as I said, we gave out an offer for those of you who could just come on a little earlier. For the early birds, gave them a little free offer, but we have some more offers coming up before we're done tonight. And I just wanted to say that 15 minutes, if you sit down and write out what you're going to say as far as your invitation speak, from the minute you're coming to sit in that seat and greet that person in front of you, till the time you walk away, you say goodbye and you walk away, that's your 15 minutes. What are you going to do? So if you just carve that out, write it down, and you time everything, and be sure to only ask questions that you cannot find the information in there on the web, okay? This is part of the preparation. You look up everybody that you're going to schedule your matchmaker meeting with in advance. When you look at the Alliance MidAtlantic link, Cathy, can you type the link into the chat box down there at the bottom in the chat box for Alliance MidAtlantic? You see it all the way. What side is that on? Looking at it, it's on your right-hand side. Down at the bottom, it says send a message.
Send a message, okay.
Yeah, just type in down there the link so that they can, when we're done here, they can go in there and take a look. You can see all of the exhibitors who have thus far committed, and they're still not finished. There are more coming. You can see who's looking for what in terms of, remember before I said who buys what? Who buys what you sell? And how do they buy? Well, you can see who's buying what you sell because those who have committed to being matchmaker hosts have identified exactly the types of goods and services that they're looking for. Now, there may be...
They haven't said everything, but at least that'll give you an idea. So,
and some of them, I saw one that just said, this is who we are, and they didn't put anything. So that meant open door. If I want to do business with that particular agency and they're not delineating any specific types of businesses they're looking for, I would be there if that's one of that's your marketplace. The other thing is just don't go meeting with people for the sake of meeting them if you haven't identified them as part of your market. Who is your target market? Niche it out. Get really finite and fine-tuned about it, and then study up on them before you show up. And that's for any conference that you go to. Even the exhibitors on the floor. Don't waste their time. Those lines get long for those exhibitors. If that's not someone that you identified as you're going to do business with them, as wanting to do business with them, don't take up someone else's time that is looking to do business with them. Go to the people that you pre-identify. I mean, this site is so extensive and has so much information. You can't make a mistake. The only mistake you make is not paying attention and reading everything on there, because she had to put a lot of time and effort into getting that stuff up.
We do. There can't be any excuses. I refuse to hear an excuse while I didn't get the information.
I wanted to ask you another.
Okay, go ahead.
I had another question for you. So you've kind of alluded to a few of them, but I know there's some more juicy ones. What are some of the mistakes people have made? Look at your face. Come on, tell it now. When it's time to go and meet with people that you've heard, because we get a chance to sit in the seat where we get to hear from those who you are meeting with, and we get to hear the real deal.
Yeah.
So what are some of the mistakes people are making that we can clue them into so that they can overcome that and share with them also the best practice for that?
Well, I think probably one of the biggest mistakes a company can make is saying that they can do anything. I can do janitorial, I can do IT, I can do construction. Oh yeah, I can do this too. You need to you think, well, you can, but you can't, because you have to focus on just a few entities, 5 at the very most. Otherwise, you just don't have time to do it. And you need to, and I think what we need to do is talk about a capability statement and what that is and why you use it. Can we do that? Because that has a lot to do with what people are not doing and when they're not saying to these people. The capability statement has, and there are some examples on our website. There's a little section that says, how do I? And there's some, and capability statement, I think, is the last item. But basically, the most important piece, besides your very short paragraph of what you do, is I can't remember what the term is, but your unique capabilities. Why should a company choose you?
Yes. Unique selling proposition. USP? Is it the USP, the unique selling proposition?
That's good. Exactly right. That's right. Do you save them money? Do you provide excellent security that other companies can't do? Do you help them adapt to a change? I mean, specifically say why you are unique, why you're the best at what you do. And so many people don't do that.
Don't you think that sometimes that's because they're really not sure how to articulate what makes them different, or maybe they don't really know what makes them different? Do you have any suggestions on how they can pare that down to figuring out what makes me unique and what makes my service or my product unique? Is that you?
That is, but that's not for me. Okay.
Okay. What makes my product or service, or what makes my delivery system unique, or how do I stand out from the crowd? I know that's a tough thing for people to figure out, but it's there. Do you have any suggestions how they can whittle down to that unique selling proposition?
Well, I know what I did. Let's see. I have a yellow pad here, and it tells it at the top of it, what do I bring to this business? And basically, I have a page of, and I had to think a lot. I mean, I had to do some brainstorming with some people, and in a couple groups, figure it out. Write down the items and the things that I do or ShoWorks does that we bring. So it's a matter of just thinking about it. Just think about it, and talk to your employees, talk to your clients. What do I do? If you've got someone you really like to work with, well, why do you work with me? And ask that question. I don't think we can do it by ourselves. We have to ask others. So make a list, and then figure out if that's why you do it.
That's really good. Ask people. Like, you want to know, why do they keep coming back to you? What is it about you that they keep coming back? What is it about? Is it your service? Is it your employees? What is it about that product that's different? Or sometimes it's really about the individual.
Sometimes.
Don't you think? It really is. The relationship, back to building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
What the theme of this year's Alliance MidAtlantic conference is building relationships. Sometimes that's what makes all the difference in the world. Because,
I have a story.
come on, show us.
This networking is so important, and talking about building relationships. I was talking to a contracting officer who said, sometimes the bids are so close. It is just very, very difficult to make a decision. But there was one such bid that he was working on, and one of the companies that had the same numbers as the other company, he had talked to one time or two times at an event. And he said, we happened to be talking at a reception, and we ended up talking about our dogs because we have the same kind of dog. And that's how I remembered him. And there was nothing to differentiate his and other bids, but we chose him because I knew him. There was a relationship. I could trust him.
So that goes back to the whole people do business with people they know, like, and trust. But here's a little caveat I add to that. And who leave them feeling good about themselves.
Yes, that's right.
So when you show that you care about someone, and I'll give you an example. I mean, when I'm working with my private clients and I get a chance to do a little role playing with them, and I shared some things with a company once, and the people from a company once, and they came back to me and said, "Oh my God, Stephanie, that stuff a holistic approach to networking." They said that stuff really does work. We would never have thought to do those things, but when you meet someone, especially if you're meeting, let's say, an exhibitor. An exhibitor is talking to who knows how many people, several hundred people, or at least 100 in a day.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do that's a little different when you approach them to show that you care about them? To show that it's not just all about you. What can you do? Sometimes a smile, sometimes just to acknowledge something about them. Ladies, we're good at being able to give a compliment, share that with them. So, when we see somebody with a blouse or a skirt or a dress or some shoes we're like, girl, love those shoes. I don't know about you, but that's me. I'll just go there with them like, I'm loving those shoes, or, oh my God, that color just makes you look so fabulous. It really, don't say anything you don't mean. Let me just put a little piece on that. Yes, say that which is an honest emotion, because for me, you're going to know if it's honest. You're going to see it in me. And I'm not saying it otherwise. Mama said, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. So just something like that will lift the energy for that person who's already worn out. Or maybe you walked up to them and you brought them a bottle of water or juice or soda. Men, oh, honey, it's so easy. They're just so easy. All you got, I love that tie. It really compliments that shirt. Oh my goodness. Now you got them smiling. Oh, when the minute they smile. I'm not even going to say, know where to go now.
Overboard, but they know that. They know when it's sincere. There's no doubt.
They know. Oh, they know. But if you're a woman and you compliment that guy on something that he did right, they're going to open up. The minute they smile, that's a heart opener right there. Okay. As we say in yoga, we do the heart opener. We do heart openers. Okay. And now you can talk to them and perhaps get a little bit more information than the person before you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Got all kinds of little stuff. And it's all sincere. There's one thing I got to say is you can't fake this stuff.
No, and I've got one more comment. I know we only have about 15 minutes, and if any of you have questions, this is a good time to ask them. But
yes,
what do you do after the event? I mean, how do you bombard them with calls and emails and get real obnoxious, or do you say the next day send a little email with just a little synopsis of your conversation? This is what we talked about, and I'd really like to talk to you. I'd like to talk to the project manager for this particular project coming up. Is that possible? And if you do it in a very simple way like that, then tell them, at every couple of weeks, okay, well, this is what we're doing differently now. without being annoying. There are ways that you can connect with these people.
And I like that you said, okay, so now I tell people when they're speaking with them, that's when you can ask those things. But when you're doing that wrap up afterwards, you're just being repetitive, but repetition is the mother of learning. So people are going to remember when you keep repeating it to them. But in addition to that, I always say that at the time you're meeting with them during the matchmaker session, or if you're meeting with them as an exhibitor, find out their best way of being contacted. What do they prefer? Most people are like, oh, I'll call you. I'm like, no.
Good point.
First and foremost, you need to make an appointment. Here's my calendar link and make an appointment for the call. And we're not going to just do a call. We're going to do a Zoom because I want to see your face because I'm reading your body language, your face, everything. So we're going to do a face-to-face. People want to do a face-to-face and meet you somewhere. I'm like, let's save the gas and the maintenance and time, which is money. And we'll meet online. But when you're doing this with them, you want to get that out. That's that 15 minutes. I'm going to want 30 seconds to do this, 1 minute for this, and listen to what they're saying to you and your questions. Even if you have questions already written, be open to the fact that they may share some information with you that you have a question about. And so there's an opportunity for you to ask your question right then and there. But before you leave, Cathy, that's what I'm saying, find out then. I'd love to be able to speak with that contact that you told me about. Can you tell me how I can get in touch with them? Can you provide their contact information? And what's the best way for me to reach them, or the best timing, if you might know? And would you be willing to let them know that I will be getting in touch with them and we had this opportunity to meet? So you've seen me and met me face to face already. See, I'm saying, get it. Go get it right then in those 15 minutes that you have.
And you make a big point. If you have looked at, make great points. If you have looked at their forecast and know that a project is coming down the pike, and so you say, okay, I know that you're doing this project for the end of 2016. Now, I'd really like to be a part of that. Which project manager can I talk to? So, and using your comments, exactly, find out.
So before we go any further, because I do have there's something else I wanted us to discuss. But before we go any further, let me just say this. I know earlier I gave everybody a freebie. So here's another freebie, and then we're going to jump into that offer you have, Cathy, and then I have another offer before we split. I have a freebie for you, and it's a digital download of an audio that I think would be really great for you. It's transforming change into opportunities. So you can just text the word, and I'll type it in down here. Text the word biz tips to 908-223-8616. Just text that word biz tips, one word, to 908-223-8616. And it was a Periscope that I had done a while back on the spur of the moment. And I decided to convert it to an audio. And then I figured out how to insert some stuff in the middle. So you'll hear noise in the background on the front end and the back end. But bottom line is I was outdoors. I love doing video when I'm outdoors in the summertime and in the early fall. So you'll hear how you can turn change into opportunity because, you talked about having been on the show, Ronald's show, for managing change. And you may have to do some changes in your business in order to be able to do business with, whether it's the feds. If you're doing business with the federal government, it's different from doing business with corporate America. So you're going to have to make some changes and be willing to do that, and don't fret over the change. Look, if there's no change, there's no life, because life is change. So there was something I had on here that I wanted to definitely ask you about. Give us another success story, because we didn't beat them up on what you should not be doing wrong. Give them another success story, because I know you had another one. You have a few, quite frankly.
I do, and I should have written them all down so I remember what they were.
It doesn't have to be a name, just what it was, what happened. With one of these are business owners that come to the Alliance MidAtlantic.
They are.
They come repeatedly. So when we talk about being top of mind, You need to be where, and I just talked to a client about this today, you got to be where they are. Though, who is they? The people you want to do business with.
And I will do another success story, but the point is you have to keep coming back. You can't go to one event and say, oh, I have this contact and I'm just so busy I don't have time to go to another one. You need to go to every event that you can based on, you have to do an ROI, a return on investment. Make sure that that event is worthwhile to you, that the right people are going to be there. But in our case, we have a lot of companies and agencies that come back year after year, which is a plus because you can sit down and remind them that you're still in business. Because there were a few years there when there were a lot of companies that were not in business after the second or third year. So even though you've talked to somebody 1 year, oh, I already work with them, you need to sit down and just say, hey, remember me? I'm working with such and such in your agency. I just want to remind you that I'm here and let them know that I was here and talking to you again. But we're going to have, let's see. Bill Knapp is going to be one of our success stories. BJ with Blue Chip is also one of our success stories, and he's come to several of events of mine and others. I mean, he said he's on his way to Las Vegas for a 5-day show. I mean, he goes and he's a good networker. He has events all over the country that he goes to, which you don't have to do, but he does because of his type of service. And he meets the same agencies, but in different regions. So they're different contacts. So he is so good. All of these three gentlemen that you're going to be hearing at our event are excellent.
Excellent. And the networking never stops. And the being visible is continuous, and the follow-up never stop until you get a flat out no. You keep following up, and then I say no is for now, but not forever. Now I'm just give you a forewarn you on this one. See, I don't have a problem saying no. So if you ask me something and I tell you no, don't think you can come back later, because no means no for me. But for the average person, no is for now, not forever. Okay. And so you may let up on the intensity of that follow-up. So instead of you following up with them every couple of weeks, and honest to goodness, I think that's a bit much sometimes. That's why I ask what is the frequency rate that is comfortable for you? Because look, if the type of contract that you would go out after, if that RFP is not coming out for another 2 to 5 years, but why? Because there's a term contract on it already. It's been recently awarded, and they're not coming back out with it for another 5 years. Maybe there may be some other small things coming up but the likelihood is slim. And so I would stay in touch so that I remain top of mind.
Exactly. There might be something else.
Yeah. And you never know if someone else in the organization might have a little something that's not going to go through that contract that's already out there. So you want to stay top of mind. So maybe it's once a month. And I love what you said, Cathy, because it's not about calling to see, is there anything out? Do you have anything? Now, if it's government, that's going to be online. They're pretty transparent. If it's corporate, you're not going to be able to see, for the most part, the bids that are coming out. Yeah. But you don't want to ask them that question. There's different ways to touch people without having to call. If you have an e-newsletter that you're sending out something really, snazzy about what you're doing, some new improvements, something new in your industry that you've now adopted, whether it be a technology or whatever, just making them aware of that, because they may not be aware. And who knows when something will come out down the line where they may want to use that in a sources sought. Or in a pre-solicitation on the federal side.
You've got to read that. You've got to read that person too. I mean, I'm the kind of person that, come on, get to the quick. Give me the story. What do you want? I don't like a lot of the chatter and how you doing today? Kind of like Starbucks, what are y'all doing today? I just want my coffee. So, but you have to read the person that you're talking to and see, besides asking them, understand that they don't like a lot of fluff. They want to just know what's going on.
Oh my gosh, yeah, especially with the feds. They need to know that you can perform
Yeah,
Okay, we just don't have time for nonsense.
that's right.
And but one of the things I think also is, and I could be wrong, but tell me if you think so. Folks, some people come in a little bit timid and uncomfortable with speaking to people that they don't know and never saw before. And I just want to assure you, they're human beings,
Mm-hmm.
just like us. They
That's
got stuff, just like us. They have issues and challenges and loves and likes and dislikes, just like us. And so when Cathy says you got to be able to read a person, you also want to, just observe the body language, observe the facial language. So I'm just going to be who I am. I'm a light warrior for the Lord. I'm just saying, but I'm also the grit factor. Okay. So I'm going to walk up on somebody sometimes when I know they need that pick me up, because as being an intuitive, I'm able to really feel what's going on and be able to say a word or give a look or shake a hand and just let them and impart an energy that says it's all good, it's all right, can I get you anything, get you some coffee, some tea, a donut, whatever. And you should see how it just like something just comes off of them, and be really cognizant when people first get there. Oh my gosh. And having been an exhibitor so many times, and having been someone who put on events and helping other exhibitors, and like me and my staff helping them drag their stuff in and get set up quickly, my personal opinion, do not interrupt them while they're setting up or breaking down. Leave
yeah.
them alone. Let them get set up, get their coffee or whatever, take a breath. We're hustling and carrying all this heavy stuff, got to set up, and time is moving quickly, so they need to be in order because they want to get into the room where we're going to be starting the program and what have you. And here you're stopping to talk to them, and they're not going to, they're going to be all nice and gracious and all. I wasn't, but they were, and will be. And so, because I know me, so my face would probably, before I could stop myself, go into a, what is wrong with these people? But and then I gather my composure. Breathe, girl, breathe.
You're more different than most. Do you think we should give them our deal now, our special deal?
Tell them about that special deal right now for those of you, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, DC, Pennsylvania. You want to come on? I mean, you can come from further if you want to. We would love to have you there. But all I'm saying is, take advantage of this deal that Cathy's going to offer right now. Give it to them, Cathy.
Okay, well, I just typed it in, but if you've already registered, make sure that check with your friends and see if they have, because our early registration deadline was Friday. And so if you type in, and I put Blab 16 or Blab EX, if you type in that during the online registration, that's what we call a partner code. Folks will still get the early registration fee, which right now is $165. It's actually $195 now, but it was $165. So putting that code in there will give you $165. So let your friends know. As for exhibitors, if you know of somebody that should be an exhibitor, the rate on Friday was $550. It's now $650. So you'd save $100 if you put that particular code in. So let your friends know. I'm not going to keep that up forever, but you might as well take advantage of it and let your friends and your colleagues know about that. So take advantage.
Awesome. So a savings on the attendee only at $30. Oh, by the way, she feeds you. Yes. Breakfast and then lunch. Mm-hmm. And then there's giveaways. There's these, what is it, raffles at around at 4 o'clock that you do, or 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, the raffles take place. They get some really nice stuff away too. Mm-hmm. And then there's dessert. Oh my gosh. They sugar you up so you can make that drive back home. Yeah. And in addition to that, I have an offer for you guys. I just want you to know that the book that I told you about, what's available right now that you can get through my website, in the online store, is Dating Your Business Prospect, and it's practical strategies for successful business matchmaking meetings. And you're getting half off. That's right, getting half off right now if you go in and you purchase the audio book. Half off, $10 to purchase the audiobook right now. And you can do that by going to www.stephaniespeaking.com and click on the tab for the online store. And that'll take you through the process, and it will be sent to you via mail. And that $10 is inclusive, ladies and gentlemen. I said inclusive of shipping, handling, and tax.
Okay.
So that's a big discount right there. Jump on that right now. Why? Because it's a holistic approach to practicing and getting ready and preparing for a successful business matchmaking meeting, especially when you're coming out to the Alliance MidAtlantic on Atlantic Conference on March 31st, 2016, Bally's, Atlantic City, New Jersey. Is the block still up for the room? For those of you who need a room, there was a block.
There, yeah. Yep. And I'm just putting my email address in so you can email any questions that you might have. Please let me know.
Exactly. For questions, email Cathy at cdoor@ShoWorksInc.com.
Yep.
And if you want to get in touch with me to find out more about some of the programs that I have for business owners who want to do business with the government, my navigation programs. Also, if you know of some folks that have some events coming up as an inspirational and business development speaker, workshop facilitator, please get in touch with me. You can email me at navigator. I'm trying to talk, and I do one thing at a time. My father said you can't do but one thing at a time and do it well. So, and he was a Marine. He ought to know. So it's navigator at StephanieSpeaking.com. Look, I always tell people when I'm speaking, look, I'm the daughter of a Marine who raised me like one of the troops. And that's where the grit factor comes in. But it has been such a joy. Cathy, I can't thank you enough. I didn't see any questions come in, but I saw people saying that they were taking everything in. Sugar Shock Media, Judith says it was so awesome. Yay! She loves the idea of that that special that you're giving.
I see
She wants to know about more events where she can meet people.
And to do that, you go to your local SBA. They would have events on their calendar. The PTAC, Stephanie, the SBDC, don't they have those events listed? There are a lot of events out there, and
I shared with a client today, and she's on here with us. And I said, look, do a Google alerts and put in Google alerts for all the different things that you're looking for. And then, when those that are giving you good information, you keep. Those that are not, you just remove. And you eventually but when you start joining organizations, or not join the organization, just go to an organization's events. Go to your what do you call them? Go to training programs that are out there, webinars, get on the webinars. You've got to be out there. You have to be visible. If you're not online, get online, go and see organizations that are in the same industry that you're in, or organizations that are known for putting on events. I mean, just Google it, for heaven's sakes. Federal events. There is a site for that. Matter of fact, I share information from that site in my e-newsletter. So if you want to be able to get on the Gritty Gazette, I don't have that information with me right now, but if you just text those words that I gave you, text networking to 908-223-8616 and text biz tips to 908-223-8616. You'll be in my system and you'll receive my e-newsletter as a result of that, as well as getting the digital downloads that are free to use. So there's so many ways, but you know what? I tell people all the time, I'm a G woman. I don't know about you, but I am a G woman. I will Google something in a heartbeat, and I will keep putting in different search terms until I come up with the responses I'm looking for. So don't stop. Don't quit. Don't give up. If people that say to me, I wouldn't have the patience to sit there and do all that, Miss Burroughs, when they're watching me do this online, because most of my, all of my client sessions are online. And I say to them, well, how are you going to get the information if you quit? So just like when you go and meet these people at the event that's coming up on March 31st, 2016 at Bally's, Alliance MidAtlantic, don't quit. I told you, these women that I heard give their stories 15 years, 13 years, going after the same company. And when they finally got in, They got in with a big win. Ooh, that rhymed, didn't I? I like that. When they finally got hashtag that. And when they finally got in, they got in with a big win. And they continued to build in those organizations until they became some of their largest clients. But don't put all your eggs in one basket, because something can happen. And the basket will fall and the eggs will break.
Yeah.
You don't have some other stuff holding you up. You'll be one of those companies that Cathy talked about that weren't in business after 2 or 3 years, or even more, like when the government shuts down and you can't get you paid and you can't pay your people or whomever. You better have some eggs in some other baskets. So we, Cathy, you and I need to get back on here once again at another time, because we have so much more to share. I'm thinking I put an email out to a gentleman from the SBA who's going to be on one of my panels at your event, who's also a moderator for another panel at your event. And he used to be a contracting specialist.
Yes, he did. He's knowledgeable. He's very terrific. You ought to blab with him.
So I sent him an email saying, if you can, jump in with us tonight, but if not, perhaps you will consider coming on board. So he had promised me last year he would do something with me, and this is the perfect opportunity. I'm not telling them his name. I'm just saying, like, he knows about 8A and all of that, just because of the fact that now he's at SBA and he's one of their reps. Working with 8A companies, and he's putting on events and doing a lot of good things. And he even sends people to me. So I love that. Clients, that is. One of the things that I'm just going to put it out there in the universe. We're going to have him on. He's going to speak from his perspective, why you need to come to these events and what he's going to be sharing at these events about how you can do business with the federal government. And I'm telling you, it can be done. Don't be scared, y'all. Cathy, thank you so much.
You'll see a lot of people who can make it be done. You'll be thrilled.
You'll meet people that you look at and you might not think are doing it, but they're getting it done. But it's not an easy road. And we're not just talking federal. I got to tell you, we're going to have some serious partners out there from the corporations. You want to name a couple real quick before we get?
We have a lot of pharmaceutical companies, Novartis, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, I think Merck will be there, Teva Pharmaceutical, Endo Pharmaceutical, DuPont will be there.
Is P&G coming this year?
Who is that?
PSE&G. Are they going to be there?
Be there. PSEG will be there. There's several.
There's a lot. They're all on the website, allianceforbiz.com. Allianceforbiz.com.
Yep.
Yeah, that's FOR for biz. Okay, allianceforbiz.com. Everything you need to know in the workshops. Oh my gosh, you got to go in there and take a look. Yeah. The workshops are laid out in there. It tells you who's going to be speaking. I'm moderating one of them. I'm excited about that one too. So I'm going to see if I can get our guy on here from the SBA to do a blab with us, possibly next week, and share a little bit from his perspective what it's going to mean for you to take advantage of this, and what he'll be talking about, what he's going to be doing, and what he does for a living at the SBA, and how they make a difference in changing the lives of small business owners through the various programs that they have.
What these links are, so that I'll post them on the website so people can go back and listen to them, including this one. But without
a shadow of a doubt. This is being recorded, folks. So if you missed a part of it, don't worry about it, because it's being recorded. Now, the only thing is, it had to be on here. Well, let me just say this. If they're listening to the recording and they want to sign up using those, they can do that. So guys, you can tell people if you missed it, the recording will be out. It'll be on here, so they can always come here and get it. It'll also be, I'm putting it on YouTube. I'll upload it to YouTube as soon as it's ready. And I send it out on YouTube. So it's going to hit Facebook, Twitter, Google+. I'll make sure that it's up on LinkedIn. And I'll send it out to all the Facebook groups. And for those who do take advantage of listening to the recording, you will hear what our specials are. You will hear the free offers. You will hear our discounts. And you will be able to take advantage of it.
That's right.
So make sure to check us out on our websites. Mine, again, www.stephaniespeaking.com. I got a whole lot there for you and a lot more coming up. I'm excited. I'm thankful and grateful to Cathy Doerr, who's out there. And you're in Washington, the state of Washington.
The state of Washington, yep.
I have another blab coming up on March 1st, and that person that I'll be speaking with will be speaking with us from Israel.
Wow.
Get that. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
These are great. I love being with you on this, and I can't wait to hear another one, to see another one.
So perhaps we should do another one just before March 31st. We'll see what the calendar looks like and make it happen. And we'll be keeping everyone on how to sign up for the next one when I send out the notifications. And I also put it up on my website under upcoming events. I think you can click into it and it'll bring you in here, but you can always come in here and you'll see what the next one is going to be. And you just click on subscribe and you're there. But know that follow me on my LinkedIn, YouTube, Google Plus, Facebook, Twitter. I'm always sending things out, notifying people of what's going on, where I'm at, what I'm doing, where I'm speaking, what organizations are doing out there. I'm excited. Tomorrow night, I'll be speaking to the Morris County, moderating the Morris County NAACP program, which is launching a brand new economic development committee, something they've never had before. And looking forward to partnering or teaming with them or doing some work for them in this new economic development committee programs. They're going to have some programs for business owners that we're going to just move business owners to another level. Especially if I have anything to do with it, you have me come in there and train. There's going to be a change. When I train, you change. Believe me, and you get things done. So I'm excited about that too. And there's just a lot more stuff coming up. So stay tuned, everybody. Follow us on social media and don't wait till tomorrow. I don't care. It's only 9:12. When you get off, go to allianceforbiz.com and sign up and register for the Alliance MidAtlantic Conference for March 31st at Bally's right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Because you know what? This is early, so don't even trip. Okay? Everybody give a props to my girl, Cathy Doerr. Give us some props. Yay. Let her know give us some love.
Here we go.
I'm looking forward to us coming back soon. You know, I'll be doing my own little thing. Ladies, those of you who heard me talk about the thought therapy piece, I don't know. You got to have some thick skin to deal with me on that one. So I'll be doing a little something on that from time to time and coming up with some other topics, you know, my mainstay being in government contracting. But shoot, I got a lot to say about a whole lot. So get ready. This is Speaking with Stephanie, and I'm looking forward to seeing you as well as in person and perhaps online, as well as having you here joining us on our blab. And I'm so grateful and thankful to you, Cathy, for taking the time out. Tell your husband I said thank you for allowing you to share this time with us. As you know, that song that Ralph Cramden used to, was it Ralph Cramden they had it at? It says, I'm so glad we had this time together.
Oh my. Can't compete with that. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you, Stephanie.
All right. God bless each and every one of you. The light in me bows to and honors the light in you. Namaste.
Thank you. Night, everybody.
Good night.